about Layla Cunningham. She's a Reform UK councillor and co-leads Reform UK's Law and Order campaign. Layla, been a bit busy this week, have you, love?
Yeah, we have. Well, the country's been under attack.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Just the Hadush Kebatu, the migrant sex offender from Ethiopia, deported after that mistaken prison release, a 2-day manhunt. Now we've got a dog walker, Wayne Broadhurst, knifed to death in the most extraordinary, I'm sure you have seen the video, frenzied attack in Uxbridge by an Afghan national. He's the suspect who's been arrested now. It's a triple stabbing. A man and a 14-year-old boy also stabbed very seriously in that same attack. And then we find out this is a man who, the suspect, the alleged suspect, arrived in this country in 2020 in the back of a lorry. Oh, the good old days, the simpler, happier times of backs of a lorry arrivals, not dinghies. And then 2 years later was granted asylum. And what do you make of both of those stories?
Well, what's interesting is Kebatu was deported. He was removed because the state finally deployed some political will and bowed down to public pressure. And that's that the machinery to deport immediately exists. And the question is why this machinery isn't used proactively. We have the Borders Act that says that once they get a 12-month or more sentence, they must be deported. Why are we waiting until a crime happens, until someone's raped or killed? I want the law to be changed, and I want it to prevent, not react, because preventing crime saves lives. And there was no returns agreement with Ethiopia. They just had to suck it up and take it. And it shows that we can deport immediately if we had the political will. So I want a trigger for immediate deportation, not to be on a serious, by the way, criminal offence. I want it to be the trigger for immediate deportation is on arrival, illegal arrival. So anyone who enters without permission will automatically be deported.
But also, I mean, other countries, as one of our callers pointed out earlier, like Germany, they're able to deport to Afghanistan, even though we haven't got to deal with them. Well, why haven't we got to deal with them? Other countries do. But even I would even argue, just down to the very simple thing, you just say, oh, you don't want, say Ethiopia doesn't want it back, that's fine. There are no flights coming in from Ethiopia from now on then. End of. That's it. That's it. No one gets to arrive from your country in our country then. Because I'm sorry, it's like how Donald Trump has done some of this tariff stuff. They'll pay attention at that point and they'll take those people back.
Of course they will. We don't need a crime to prove a point. We need prevention. And prevention means deporting foreign offenders and, that's illegal migrants before they kill or rape. And you know what, Julia? I am sick and tired of being called racist or fascist because I say that any illegal migrant who enters this country is a criminal.
Because they are.
They are. Because one person killed or raped by someone who shouldn't have been here, it's not just a failure. We don't need statements. It's a destroyed family.
Exactly.
And they're more worried about being polite or politically correct. And if that's the case, then you've got no business being in government. And really, Julia, I am really sick and tired of being called racist or fascist, because if you enter this country, you are breaking the law and I owe you nothing.
Yeah, I don't care whether these people are white, brown or black. I don't care at all. I don't want people in the country who are illegal. Here's the thing. A caller made the point a little bit earlier about accountability. This is Robert. He's saying, how do we hold our politicians to account? How do we... they do this, it carries on. We say we don't want it. We did not give you permission to have these people here. Didn't give you, we told you what we wanted to happen. You don't do anything about it. How do we hold them to account? How will, let's say, Reform do, according to the polls, get in the next election? How do we hold you guys to account?
Well, we have a democratic system, which is flawed, I admit, when people vote for something and they get the total opposite. We have a government that gambles with the lives of the British people to prove how compassionate they are, to bow down to foreign treaties. We want a government that's here to protect our people, not apologise to foreign countries. And if we don't do that, then I'll tell the voters, never vote for us again. And that's how it should be.
That's
because every time an innocent person suffers, ministers hide behind statements. We're sorry, oops, like yesterday, Robert Jenrick was on TV and he said, I'm not going to deny that we got it catastrophically wrong, as if that absolves the Conservative Party of everything they did. Oops, sorry, someone got killed, someone got raped, oops, sorry, but, just trust us again.
And again, I've got a conservative. Claire Pearsall's making faces in the studio here, but I've got to be honest with you. I'm with Layla on this one. There is a sort of, as long as we say sorry, it's okay. I don't know if that's going to fly anymore. Can I just bring you some breaking news? Reports claiming that Hadush Kebatu, the migrant sex offender, the Epping offender who was deported to Ethiopia, he was given a £500 payment. Now, it was up to £2,000. Illegal people in this country and foreign criminals are entitled, amazingly, to up to £2,000 payments. But he was given a £500 payment after threatening to disrupt his removal. Now, I imagine, of course, you're in a situation where the plane can't take off, and you're in that situation. What can you do? I mean, I'm of the view that at that point you just you give someone a sedative and you tase them or whatever you do, and you put them on the plane that way. But I imagine the airlines won't agree to take someone on that basis. We have paid £500 of our hard-earned money, paid in taxes, to a sex offender who came to this country illegally, who had no right to be here, committed a sex offence, and now we're paying him to get on a plane. I'm sorry. Why don't we just slap ourselves in the face?
Yeah, exactly that. You know, just come here, commit the most heinous crime, and you know what? We're going to pay you to go back home. I mean,
it's a joke. We are a joke country. We really are.
We are a joke. We're a joke country.
What do you make about the government's crackdown on illegal working? 63% increase in the number of arrests made. They carried out 11,000 raids in the last year. They're kind of upgrading that. There's talk, about more prosecutions of the people, the employers. Because basically they're the problem. If they didn't employ people, then and they knew they'd be caught, and they knew they'd basically go to prison, they wouldn't risk doing it. But is that enough?
No, just deport every illegal migrant who comes in here, then we won't have this problem. We saw that it can be done. It just doesn't have the political will. We do not have a returns agreement with Ethiopia. We do not need a returns agreement. We are giving, and people moan about us sending people back to the Taliban, but they don't mind the Taliban coming over here. Who knows, that guy might have been part of the Taliban. They're more than happy for the Taliban to cross the boat and come here. They're more than happy for a convicted bomb maker from the Muslim Brotherhood to come here and have his asylum considered. And in terms of the workers, Julia, we're running a two-tier system, basically. British workers face incredible amount of rules, checks, taxes, and illegal migrants, they just come, no questions asked. We are a joke country right now. And, they're going to try and use this to bring in the digital ID. Nonsense.
Oh, yes.
We don't monitor
but we've seen the polling. The public don't accept that. Can I also ask you just about a press conference this morning? They come thick and fast from your party. The Reform Head of Policies here, Yusuf, said today that young people on disabilities are being tossed onto the scrap heap. They're going to end personal independence payments for claimants with non-serious anxiety disorders. We've seen a huge increase in those. And the caseload for new claims for under 25s in this country, says on PIP, have tripled in 5 years. This is a betrayal of our young people, and they're going to have welfare cuts that would save £9 billion a year by 2029. What do you say about that?
I say we have to do this. And it shows you that taxes are going to go up because we're paying for Starmer's weak leadership. He couldn't get his backbenchers to agree to a cut, and he's not going to do it anytime soon. And basically, we're paying for political weakness, and we just can't afford it anymore. People are tired. We're tired of paying for illegal migrants to be housed in 5-star hotels, 4-star hotels. We're tired of paying for people with slight anxiety disorders to do nothing. As you say, it's not a serious country. We're not a serious country right now. And I think actually when you do have anxiety, and I know people have said this before, I think it is helpful to be doing something. When my sister passed away of cancer 2 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was, and she was like, I wish I died from cancer. I watched her, I was her carer. It chips away at every person and every soul of your being, but that's almost what spurred me to get so busy. People say, how can you do all this? And I do it so I don't
keep busy and don't. Yeah. Well, I'm
exactly.
So sorry. I'm so sorry if you lost that, Layla. We'll have to leave it there. Reform UK councillor Layla Cunningham there. Claire Pearsall, we can come back in on. She was basically saying, going back to just saying sorry isn't enough for Labour or the Tories.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but it just comes back down to what else can you do? And you're right. She said, if that was the case with Reform, then you could not vote for them next time, vote them out. And that's what's happened to the Conservative Party. I still don't get what people want when they say they want people to be held accountable. What is it that they're actually after? Because the only way in a democratic state that you can hold people to account is to boot them out.
Yeah, well, that was one reason why I voted for Brexit, because we didn't have any accountability, because we couldn't boot out a European Commissioner.